Thanks, Scott. Very well done. Ave Satanas! I'm Reverend Tarkus Claypool, campaign manager of the Satanic Temple of Seattle. You may have guessed that we're not like the other groups or speakers you've heard today. With the 7 tenets as our guide, our religion celebrates the literary Satan as the potent symbol of rebellion against tyranny. We are strong advocates of religious freedom. We believe that all religions merit the grace our government grants us. We too welcome pro bono groups like the Liberty Council for the opportunity to give our satanic invocation. We actually don't mind In God We Trust. Keep it on the money, put it on the courthouse walls, decal the city and state municipal vehicles. Give a sweet prayer to Jesus before every city council meeting. Put up your nativity scenes and 10 commandments on the city hall grounds. But know this, Christian majority, when you drink deep of that intoxicating trough of religious liberty, when you have convinced yourselves this is a Christian nation, and that by the power of Jesus all public property and laws are his creation and therefore his dominion, don't forget that you have to pay the devil his due. Don't forget that Lucifer is in the Bible too, and when you trade in the coin of religious liberty, we will come collecting. Just ask Joe Kennedy of Bremerton High School. Last year, Joe Kennedy was asked to stop praying with his student football players. As a person in a position of authority, he was not permitted to lead public school students in prayer on the 50-yard line after every game. That gave the appearance of state-sponsored religion. He refused. And at the next game, he prayed again with his players, again on the 50-yard line, and said he was just exercising his First Amendment right to religious liberty. When threatened with dismissal, he sought the Liberty Council to aid him in legal representation. We support the idea of religious liberty, and prayer in the football field meant it is effectively an open religious forum, and that means we could demand equal time. And we did. Unfortunately, Coach Joe was suspended the night before we were to give our invocation in front of a packed homecoming crowd. Denied again, and we had such a lovely invocation planned. When fighting in the trenches of church-state separation battles, many will tell you that we are the nuclear option. That by demanding equal access to open religious forums, we expose the hypocrisy of religious liberty for all to see. We don't see it that way. For each time we come close to tasting liberty, it disappears. But not only for us, oddly for the Christians as well. If we are indeed nuclear, Satan lives in the fallout. We saw this when the Detroit chapter tried to place a Baphomet statue near the 10 Commandments. Suddenly, the 10 Commandments were removed. We saw this when the Arizona chapter tried to lead the Tempe City Council in a satanic prayer. They changed the rules to remove the prayer. When Bible literature was handed out in Orange County, Florida schools, we asked to distribute our children's satanic activity books. Suddenly, all religious literature was removed. Denied again. Time and time again, we are not only denied religious liberty, but our Christian friends lose it as well. It's frustrating to try to get the word of Satan out with all these last-minute rule changes. So know this, ladies and gentlemen, and I declare this to you today. If your efforts to change the motto to E Pluribus Unum fail, we will begin our campaign to keep In God We Trust in courthouses, in city vehicles, and in schools, wherever you see it now. Except we want a notable exception. We want a giant blood red pentagram behind the words. After all, it is the motto of our country, right? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ave Satanas. Ave Satanas. I exit good, but I need to do an intro for the next speaker. Coming up, we have Damien Adhope.